Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Show. This is a special edition. I am Richard Holdridge, and I've got the Columbus State head basketball coach of the women's team, Coach Matt Hauser. Coach, thank you so much for joining here on the show this evening.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be
Yep.
part of it.
All right, well, congratulations. You had a very good weekend in the St. Leo Holiday Classic, picking up 2 victories over DeUville University 67-63 and Mercy College 67-54. The team is 4-4 on the season. I mean, it's really been an up and down season. You started 2-0, you lost 4 straight, but you did pick up 2 important victories. But tell everybody how the season has gone so far in non-region play and in tournament play as well.
Yeah, it's been kind of like an interesting year coaching wise. I guess in our exhibition match versus Auburn University, we had one hell of a showing against them. And out of the starting 5 that we played in that game, towards the start of the season, 3 out of the starting 5 we couldn't even start with due to injuries, concussion, all these type of just nagging injuries. And then one of our top players, when we played Catawba, number 3 team in the nation, she broke her hand. So we've had 2 players this year who broke the same bone in the same hand, if you can imagine that. So we've been just nagged with injuries. And because of that, our identity, we've been trying to figure out through this non-conference with players who haven't started, now starting, players from the bench that are now playing more of a key role. So it's been just, trying to figure out how we get back to our style of play, our pressing, and what we do defensively wise without these players that we've been just ready to play and start the season off. And I mean, it's just, that's the way it goes. You can see UConn women's basketball this year, they've lost 3 of their top players to ACL tears, and you just got to keep figuring it out and trying to, work in players, and it's now their time. And that was what was great with this challenge over at St. Leo this past weekend was the players are starting to really click and starting to get it. And they played absolute amazing basketball this weekend, and they're starting to figure it out, and they're coming to compete better and executing better, and they're getting back to the winning ways.
Coach, you talked about the identity of this team 2 years removed from the NCAA tournament berth, where you had one of the top defenses in all of NCAA Division II. And what is this identity of the team? Do you want to focus on defense? Is it about 3-point shooting, trying to outscore the other team? Or are you committed to defense to try to be as competitive as possible, actually going into the season after you finished 15-12 and lost in the first round of the Peach Belt tournament? I mean, what is the expectations this season, and what does the identity look like for this team?
Well, I mean, it's always, Columbus State's always about, our style of defensive play. Like you said, 2 years ago, that's what we were about. And we started off the season that way this year. I think we had a couple players that were leading the nation in block shots per game. Lacey Roberts was one of them. That was one of the players that we lost to a broken hand in the 3rd game of this preseason. So with our press and the way that we play in our man-to-man and, up in your stomach and, denying and just making it, chaotic throughout the entire game, one of our key components is numbers and legs, being able to sub in and out and being able to keep pressuring you and keep attacking you. And when you start off the season without 6 of those players out of 16 and you're only down to 10, it kind of changes the dynamic of what we've always been known to do. So I think after this Christmas break, we start getting more players back from these injuries. So I think we'll be getting back to what you were talking about, our defensive identity, and then that will carry over to our offense. I mean, our defense always carries over to our offense. So the better that we are defensively, the more offensively sound we are. And like you said, our 3-point shooting, we have great 3-point shooters. But the way that we push and transition to free up those shots is all indicative on how we press and get in steals and passing lanes and get out and transition quick. And we just haven't been able to do that this non-conference, preseason as much as we would like to do. And but now these girls are starting to figure that out more, and especially our young ones, and they're starting to play, our style, and that's what our culture is. And that's, if you ask about our system, you have to be able to run the entire game, the entire 40 minutes of basketball against us. And we started showing that in Florida.
Well, Coach, let's talk about some of the players that were key players on last year's team that's leading the way. We'll start with Amber Abuzbe and then Alana Rawls. I mean, these were key players from last year's team. And really, you have Latia Reeves just coming out of nowhere, 18 points a game. I mean, what has impressed you so far with the mixture of players that played a lot of minutes last year for you, Coach, and then players like Latia Reeves, who's coming in and leading the team in scoring, averaging 18 points?
Mm-hmm. Well, Latia was up for Freshman of the Year in the Peach Belt last year, and she had one of the most highest scoring games out of any player, even seniors, with 31 points against Young Harris last year. So we saw kind of like flashes of greatness from her last year, and coming into this year, now seasoned with more minutes under her belt, she's ready to take on a bigger leadership role. And she's now coming into herself and coming into her game, and it's just fun to watch. And Alana and Amber being our returning key players, from all PBC, they're the ones that are the fuel that starts, our whole style of defense and how we get up and down. And that was one of the players that started, not playing right away, was Alana, who was injured from the Auburn game. And then she came back, and then she got a concussion. So she was out these past 2 games as well. So she's had a up and down non-conference, to start. So we're excited about getting her back and getting her into her normal regular play and style of what she's used to doing. But Latia has been just, coming day in and day out. I think she got nominated this past week as one of the top 8 all-time leading steals per game player in the nation. So for Division II, Latia, I think, is number 12 in the nation with steals per game at like 3.5 or 3.3 steals per game.
That's awesome.
And so again, she's only a sophomore. Amber and Alana are technically seniors this year, but because of their COVID year, they can, return. So they could technically be juniors this year. So our seasoned vets from last year, who were all freshmen, sophomores last year, are now juniors and sophomores this year, and they're really competitive and they're really strong. And that's why we had such a strong, I think we have one of the strongest non-conference schedules in the nation. And I put that together because I wanted to see us this year playing against that type of competition, knowing that we wanted to be in the NCAA and we wanted to make a run at the end. So we scheduled Catawba, number 3 in the nation, Carson Newman, who will be probably 15th in the nation, Wingate, who was number 20th in the nation, Miles, who's I think 6-1 this year, or their only losses to us. Mercy in the St. Leo tournament was 7-2 before coming in this tournament. So our non-conference schedule has been an absolute beast. And hats off to these girls while they've been down key players to just push through and to, come in and compete with these teams. And that's what I'm so proud about. And once we start getting healthy, I think now with how we played and what we went through is only going to be huge for us going down when we start getting into our Peach Belt Conference and getting into competitive play.
All right, Coach, let's talk about the upcoming schedule, because this Saturday you have an exhibition game. It's a team that's from the Chattahoochee Valley, Point University out of West Point, Georgia. They're an NAIA school. And is there a reason that this is an exhibition game and this won't count towards the regular season? Is it because Point University is an NAIA school?
No, it's first of all, the coach over there is absolutely amazing. He great friend, and we've been wanting to put something on the books for a long time. And for us, when we talk about rankings and we talk about regional play and where we get involved in all that top 25 talk and everything, since I'm on one of the boards, playing an NAIA team even if it's not an exhibition, if it counts as in a loss but when we do the rankings, that game doesn't count because they never look at an NAIA game ever. They'll only look at Division II teams. So in an NAIA team that, for us, it worked out great because we put it on the books because we had such a big break coming from Christmas to our first game. And they had the same type of, they didn't want to practice all the time before their first game. They wanted to get a game in there. So did we. But it's even better for us right now. It is so important for us to have this game because of all the players that have been out for so long. Sophia Williams just came back against the Florida tournament, and she's been out for 2.5 months with a broken hand. So we have a lot of players that need an exhibition game to get their wheels back, to get their rhythm back. And so this game is even more crucial for us on December 30th. For them to get in that game and to get their legs back and to start, really, really getting back to what we do defensively before we go into the Peach Belt play. So this game couldn't come at a better time for us, especially with how we need to get those players minutes and going forward.
Absolutely, Coach. This Saturday at the Lumpkin Center, if you want to catch the Columbus State.
Not this Saturday.
No, Saturday. Yeah, you know what I mean. The 30th.
This Saturday,
Man,
I'm out.
No, this Christmas, we're taking a big break from Christmas. We're coming back on the 30th. I'm getting my weeks mixed up, but it's going to be the 30th of December at the Lumpkin Center. Come on out and check out the Columbus State Lady Cougars taking on the Point University Lady Skyhawks just up the road. They're up in West Point. They're an NAIA school, and I know they're going to have some fans that are going to come down, and I think that's going to be a great matchup. I'm looking forward to that. But let's go ahead and transition to the Peach Belt Conference play because it seems like right now the team that's leading the way is the defending regular season champions from last year, Georgia Southwestern State University out of Americus. They're currently 6-1. You'll play them in the third game of the Peach Belt Conference, but looking at some of the teams from last year, you have Clayton State. I mean, right now, Lander is 7-2. When you get into conference play, by the way, the first conference game is going to be at the Lumpkin Center on Wednesday, January the 3rd. And I'm looking forward to the conference play in the Peach Belt. But this matchup with Georgia College, and then you take on Augusta University, you got two back-to-back Peach Belt Conference games, both at home. How crucial is it to get off to a hot start in the Peach Belt, especially when you're taking on the best team in the Peach Belt, Georgia Southwestern, on the road in the next game on January the 10th?
Yeah. Well, the Peach Belt is just a grind no matter what. I mean, we really nickname it the SEC of Division II. It's a battle every single game. All the coaches are just excellent coaches for every single program. And like Georgia Southwestern and some of these teams, they've been together, healthy, and they've been playing really well. And it's been fun to watch. And now, hopefully, when we get back, in the swing of things and get everybody back to what we've been used to on our team, we'll be able to compete at a high level and get back into the winning. But like you said, the first two games at home are going to be crucial for us going forward and start showing what we started showing in the beginning of the season and what we've been excited about this entire year with our team that we have. So we have a lot of kids on the program that are ready to get back at it, and they're just, biting at the nail, trying to get back on the court and get back in, in shape and to get out there and start showcasing what they're, able to do. And I mean, one of these key players that has been out pretty much this entire time has been Breland Snipes, a transfer from Kennesaw State. She's a kid, right around the corner from Shaw High School, and she hasn't played until one of the games just to come back and start getting her feet wet off of a major ankle roll. And now she'll be completely cleared when we come back from Christmas break. So she hasn't even played a minute in all these non-conference games except for one. So we're excited about getting her back into the rhythm. And then we were talking about Chris Gaucher. She just got cleared to play out of her ACL injury from last year. And so she'll be even better in season coming back. Alana Rawls will be back for us coming next week. So there's all these key component players that we're really excited about getting back. And along with Amber, Lataya, Susie Rudenko, Olivia West, Jillian, and all the other girls, Jazz, Maya, Samara, Amanda, Simone. I mean, they're just great, great, great players, and they're ready to really start showing what they're capable of doing. And so I think they're really excited about coming back from Christmas break healthier and ready to go.
Well, Coach, I hope that you and your team have a great Christmas break. We'll see you back at the Lumpkin Center on December the 30th for that exhibition against Point University, and then it's on to Peach Belt Conference play. I'm looking at the schedule. No more Young Harris. They're not in the Peach Belt anymore, but you got the University of South Carolina at Beaufort. I mean, they're a new team that's in there. I mean, the Peach Belt does look a little bit different, but I'm looking forward to seeing the Peach Belt Conference play in 2024 when you get gearing up on January the 3rd, taking on Georgia College.
Yeah, we're excited too. Buford is going to be a great addition to the Peach Belt. Hall of Fame coach over there that's coaching them from Purdue. So they have a great program, and they're only going to get better every single day. So it's just bringing that competitive nature within every game, and that's what brings the entertainment value of watching any team in the Peach Belt compete. It's just going to be just a great, great competitive field, and we're excited about being a part of it, and we're excited about trying to come away with, a conference championship and a conference tournament championship, because that's what is on everybody's mind this year.
Absolutely. Good luck the rest of the way, Coach, and looking forward to having you back on the show talking about this season for Columbus State Lady Cougars basketball.
Appreciate you, boss. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That is the head basketball coach of Columbus State women's basketball team, Coach Matt Hauser. Thank you so much once again for joining us on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and I hope that you all have a great rest of your night, and we will see you next time.
All right. Take care, guys.
See ya.